hope this video finds everyone well. Um, yeah, it's something, isn't it? All the what have you. I'm making this video as the part two to the Minilogo experiment. A couple of months ago, I think in September, I came up on a deal on the internet for some Minilogo trucks. They were $30 a set. Bought two sets. Wasn't really sure what I was going to do with them. When I got them, I was even less sure what I was going to do with them. But as I was kind of sitting there staring at them, I kind of came up with the idea that I was going to build some fully Skate 1 and Pal Peralta complete skateboards. That I was going to buy, or I was going to use those trucks that I had bought to build out some of my older Pal reissues. And that's what I did. And over the past couple of months, I've been skating those Pal reissues. The Skull and Sword with the 875 Minilogo Raw on it, and the Steve Stedham with the 875 Minilogo Black and Raw on it. And as I've been putting these things, and again, I said in the first video, it wasn't going to be like a review, because the type of skating I do isn't like well round. I don't do any street skating, basically. You know, I don't grind any ledges or any rails or anything like that. So my feeling is that it would kind of be unfair to judge the truck, essentially, or review the truck in a specific condition that I use it in. So in this case, I'm just saying that I'm experimenting with the truck in the kind of condition that I usually skate in, which is mostly transition, mostly park. I don't really skate street at all, except for every once in a while I skate curbs and, you know, parking blocks and stuff like that. But yeah, so, you know, over the past couple of months I've been skating these trucks actually kind of religiously. I usually take one of these boards out with me every time I go out, and I spend some time tooling around the park on it. And over the last couple of months, I've got to say that I'm actually pleasantly surprised with the performance of the truck. It hasn't, I mean, there was a break-in period where I had to get used to it. It does have a pretty steep geometry, so it does turn relatively quickly, but it's kind of a good thing. And the bushings actually, when you take the board off a plane and you put the truck on edge and you cause it to turn, the bushings are actually really good. They're very snappy. They pop back really well. So the turn of the truck's pretty good. And again, I can't fully say, because most modern street skaters and newer skaters, they don't really put a rise on these. This is a 3/8 inch rise on the Skull and Sword, and that is a 1/2 inch rise on there. The wheels are 59s on here and 56 on here. That's the reason why the rise is different. I was going to go 3/8 all the way around, but because of the bigger wheel, I thought it would be better to have 1/2 inch on there. But yeah, like I was saying, it actually, the truck does actually turn really well. One of the concerns I had when I first got it, when it was off, not mounted, you know, I had it in my hand, it was very light. The base plate is actually hollow, so it felt, you know, a little bit chintzy, but I haven't experienced any kind of feelings that it's going to fail or anything like that as I ride it. And I mean, I've slammed it up against the curb or the parking block fairly hard with some decent amounts of force. And while it does sound different, it doesn't have that kind of deeper, danker sound that the Aces and that the Indies have. And I think that's because, you know, the actual base plate is hollow. It does kind of sound a little bit hollow, and it does sound kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say cheap, but, you know, it's a different a rural pleasure, you know. It just sounds different, which is all right. I mean, that's not a bad thing per se. I guess I'm just used to the way that indies sound, and you know, when I think about a truck grinding, that's the sound that I think about is the sound that indies make is very specific, at least to me anyway. But yeah, last week got to go out. Took both boards with me, and I had an opportunity to film some stuff. And I tried to put these trucks in a couple of different positions that might be helpful in the way that I'm trying to form a narrative and explain how they perform in the type of skating that I do. I wanted to kind of put them in a spot where I could actually see whether or not the curved hanger actually did anything. And as I was trying to figure out how to do that, because like I said, I'm not grinding any flat bars or doing any rails or anything like that, I think I found out a way, just basically, you know, backside 50-50 stalls, and then I leveled that up to like a pivot stall, which I think in the video, which we'll watch, you can kind of see, it actually does, there is some difference in it, you know, whether or not it's huge, whether or not you're going to notice it, you know, I don't know, I can't say for sure, because I just haven't had enough exposure to it, but throughout kind of the filming, I did notice that there was some things happening based on that kind of curved hanger and that technology. It was putting me into different spaces on the truck and actually closer to the wheel and holding me in space essentially. So I think there is some legitimacy to that. And like I said, as far as the turning, it is a very turny truck. When you take it off a plane and you put it on access, it turns relatively quickly. And luckily, because the bushing is halfway decent, it does snap out of those turns fairly quickly as well. So it has nice rebound in that sense. One thing I did notice is these are both listed on Minilogo's website as a medium bushing. This one is definitely in the black and raw. This one is definitely a firmer bushing. I'm not exactly sure if it's, you know, the Duro is harder. But you can definitely tell as soon as you get on this board as compared to this board, this one does feel like it takes a little bit more effort to initiate the turn and then to hold the turn through, because it wants to kind of snap back relatively quickly. But that's not really a problem. It actually adds a different element to it, and it makes it kind of exciting to kind of skate it. And it does have a different feel. So I'm cool with that. And like I said, both bushings, despite this one being softer and this one being slightly a minute amount firmer, they both perform exceptionally well, you know, and they're not noisy. I've noticed a lot with my indies lately that the pivot cups have a squeak to them. Neither of these pivot cups on this board or that board have any kind of a squeak. They sound very clean, very clear. They transmit well acoustically, and it's kind of nice. Although I don't mind the fact that my pivot cups have that squeak in my indies, it's kind of a familiar sound, you know, so whenever I hear it, you know, it goes along with the entire experience. So, but yeah, like I said, I filmed a couple of things. We'll go through some of that footage. Hopefully it'll be entertaining and not boring as we look through it, and obviously it's not going to be anything super radical because I don't get super gnarly, but it'll kind of show you exactly what the truck is capable of and how it performed, and that'll kind of be the part 2 to the Minilogo experiment. So yeah, hopefully you'll stick around, hopefully you'll check it out. So this is just a couple of runs that I kind of recorded where I put the trucks through various conditions, situations, areas of the type of skating that I do. Yeah, so to start out, this is just a small transition, about 3 feet. Basically what I'm doing is kind of working my way up to a pivot to kind of test out the grind lock technology. Kind of see. Kind of just a sloppy 50-50 to start. But you can see as I'm on the center of the axle there, or the hanger, I should say, not the axle, kind of see the truck slide into that grind lock area right there. So kind of the first illustration of it there. But I definitely did
try to weight myself to push that into place there. So that wasn't just the truck naturally doing that. And again, this is kind of a warm-up, a progression. See sliding around on the hanger there, back and forth with a 50-50 stall. This is kind of just a progression up to doing a pivot stall. And I'm slowly kind of building up to it. There's the first real attempt at it. And you can see in the first attempt when I place the weight to my heels and kind of sink into the hanger there, I mean, I'm kind of locked in right there. I don't know if that's the grind lock technology or the fact that I've probably done that trick, 1,000 times this summer. So it might be muscle memory too. And then this last one is kind of the most official one. And you can see locks in pretty well. There's never a question of it not holding in space. You see as soon as it hits, it slides right into place and boom, it's there. So yeah, I mean, I was trying to figure out a spot where I could actually illustrate that a little bit that wasn't a flat bar or something like that. And that's the best I could come up with. So in that situation, did the grind lock technology help? Potentially, yeah, I think so. This is just some runs at the parking block. It'll be backside 50-50 followed by just a regular frontside slash. And you can see it's not super aggressive, just kind of bumping up onto it. And the truck handles itself pretty well through that. It doesn't resonate well, like I said, the sound of it. I don't know how well you can hear it. But it is a different sound than an Indy. You can see right there, I'm slamming up there pretty hard. That one was by no fault of the truck, actually, me stepping off. I had my weight too far forward, too much front foot. And that's kind of why I bumped off. Nice. That one was pretty flaccid, kind of embarrassed by that. But again, that's not the athletic equipment's fault. It's more user error. And again, I mean, I'm slapping up there with some pretty good force, and you can see if we zoom in a little bit here throughout the grind. The truck performs, exactly as it should. It flexes up really nice as it kind of rolls over the outside edge of the block. You can see it's pushing back, and the bushing actually holds it. There's no wheel bite there as it flexes through. Rolls off very smooth. There's not much more you could ask it to do in that situation. It does push through very well. And again, it puts you in the in a position where you can be successful if you have the right kind of ability. And that's really all you can ask of it, to be totally honest with you. And again, hard slash right there. So I put some force into that one. That's another flaccid trick, the flaccid rock and roll. In this little section of video, it's just a front side carve around the bowl, and then I kind of cut back across to try to grind this little corner area here. But you can see coming into the turn, relatively good speed. The truck comes off of its flat plane and up onto the transition, fairly stable. No complaints there as it pushes through the turn. I come out of that corner fairly fast into the flat again. Downward pressure, you can see the truck holds very well. No complaints at all. I kind of really cheated that grind though, which is kind of slightly embarrassing. Let's take a look. Oh yeah. cutting across. That's pretty weak. Kind of sad about it. But there's other opportunities. Again, you know, just to kind of put it into perspective, you know, it's not just a one-off. Smooth through the transition. The truck, again, holds its stability throughout the turn, runs back onto plane and then off of axis again to climb the wall to attempt the grind. Yeah, you know, no complaints at all here. Holds its speed well. Doesn't help me with my arm movement though, but that's not really what trucks do. Again, front side through the turn. Cheated it again. And here's the opposite angle to kind of give you a better idea. And in this little bit of video, there's something interesting that kind of happens in reference to the grind lock technology. And this one was kind of the best one of the day. Unfortunately, it was far from perfect. But through the turn, smooth. Would have been all right if I wouldn't have had that little tick there, like right there. But if you follow up with that, let me zoom in a little bit. You can kind of see, move that up even more, right there. Right on that back hanger, I'm running center right there, right over the kingpin. And then as I don't really shift my weight at all. I don't move my feet. I guess I kind of, maybe it hit the section of the hanger where it kind of sloped back to my heel side. And you can see the grind lock technology falls into place. Whether that made that grind better, whether it helped, I'm not 100% sure, but it I guess definitely did what it was supposed to do. Right there. So, I mean, maybe the technology is real. It's a real thing. It's actually happening. What is happening here? I'm trying to move my, there we go. From there, this is just some carving, pop out of over the coping, and then you can see the geometry of the truck. It actually turns really well once you put it on edge. You know, it responds very quickly, and again, the bushing again rebounds very nicely, puts you back into position to start and finish your turn very easily. And that's the stock bushing in there too. So it's kind of impressive to see it work the way that it does. I don't know anything about pump carving. I've watched some videos on it to try to understand it, but it doesn't make sense to me. But there are some people into it. So, but I think you could use the Minilogo truck for that. And there's actually a funny video. It's actually a good video. It's from a channel called Skateboarding. It's called Pump Carving on my Minilogo trucks, if you get a chance to go check it out. There's the reverse of that. Yeah, just kind of cruising around afterwards. Where'd I go? Oh, there I am. Oh, snap. Grindorama. Turning in a circle. Rad. Yeah. So you kind of get a feel for just how it actually turns and how it carves when you're out on the flat. I know some people who are into that type of stuff. I'm not mad about it either. You know, I'd say go for it if that's how you get it, how you live it. And the truck will work for that. You know, it definitely turns for sure. This is on the Stedham right here. This is just in the bigger bowl section. See, it holds really nicely through the backside section there. Big front side carve, little scratcher on the heel side, 50-50 backside again. You know, pretty smooth, no complaints whatsoever. Again, this is another angle here. Pump through the turn, very stable, very smooth, good sound. I mean, some of this obviously is the wheels. The soft slides are great wheels, but yeah, it worked pretty well in this situation. So yeah, that's kind of the footage that I shot this past weekend. I kind of wanted to share with you to see the situations that I've been putting the trucks in as far as the experiment is concerned. And you can kind of see from some of those videos how the grind lock technology actually works. And I'm lucky that I was able to put them in that situation because, like I said, I don't ride any kind of flat bars or grind anything like that. So it would have been really difficult for me to display like a cross lock or something on a rail. And I hope by showing you that gives you some idea if you skate the same way or the same type of situations that I do. That this truck is actually good for that. It's actually a decent piece of athletic equipment, and and it puts you into situations where you can definitely explore your ability, and hopefully it makes you a better skater. I don't know. Again, I'll show you the description of it. I didn't get mine from the Minilogo website. They were actually on Amazon. That's where I found them at for $30. But knowing what I know now, I would pay $38 for a pair, to be totally honest with you, because they are right now that good. Post the break-in period, I am having a lot of fun cruising around on them. And I think if you're a new skater who's getting back into it and you're not totally committed to spending a bunch of money on the new Aces or the Indies, this is a good place to start. And I think it does give you space to grow in. It's a pretty good truck. I mean, it performs well, it responds well. The only thing I have any question on is longevity, and I'm going to continue, obviously, to put it through its paces and try to beat it up as much as I possibly can, just to see how it goes, And I'm having some fun riding it while I'm doing that. Look at these details. Andy Anderson's truck of choice. Curved hanger, straight axle, locks your grinds in, which is great. Here's some reviews. I don't know. Do I want to read any of these? Oh, here we go. From Kenneth on 9/12/2022. After learning that Andy Anderson rode these, I decided to give them a try. Well, that was a year ago, and these trucks have performed flawlessly right out of the bag. Bushings that return to center? Yes. Low and tight turning? Very much so. And a curved hanger that locks in your grinds every time. I'm now riding these on all of my setups. I'm not going to agree with that last statement, Kenneth, but I will agree with the low and tight turning. Yeah, very much so. I'd agree with that. And bushings that return to center too. Again, the bushing stock is pretty impressive. I can honestly say that the medium Minilogo bushing is better than the orange medium Indy bushing, for sure. Any bad reviews? No. These are all 5-star reviews. Man, this thing's kicking ass on that website. Here's Kenneth again. 4/6/2020. Wonder if this is the same Kenneth. I doubt it. Why would he come back 2 years later as Kenneth? You'd think he would come back as a more mature, Ken. What do you say the first go around? Always been an Indy in the streets and going on vert. Until now. These trucks are shockingly good. Great turns, great grinds. Plus they come with great bushings. I'm sold. All right. Strong review, man. Another 5-star right there, for sure. I don't know. How do you star rating something? I'm not sure. I wouldn't even be able to say. I guess. Whoa. Andy Anderson for Minilogo truck. Should we take a look at the field report while we're here? Oh, no, it's a video. While on the 9 Club, Andy Anderson took time to explain his setup during the #MoreNineClub video. I never got into the 9 Club. I tried to watch it, but that guy who's the host, I think his name's like Chris or something like that. He's like pretty, I don't know. He seems like he's on antidepressants or something. And he's just super agreeable. He's like, oh yeah, man. I don't know. I got to watch it more to really come up with it. But should we watch this video? I don't know. It's Andy Anderson. It's always weird when he talks. And I don't know if we'll be able to hear it. We'll try it. All right.
So full Skate 1 setup. So everything that's not Powell pretty much is Minilogo.
Uh-huh.
So I got Minilogo trucks, Minilogo bushing.
What's going on with his hair? He has his hair parted in the middle, but it favors his left side. Is he trying to cool guy me with that hair, knowing that I'm going bald? I don't know.
I got a top bushing of the Bones Hard. So the Minilogos turn super good. So they're really low and they have really sharp turning radiuses.
How many
So
watches
I got
does
all
this
the
guy
top
have on?
setups, and they're super light. So if you look at the base plate, it's all kind of this curved shape. It's all hollow under there. Like
No.
they're super engineered trucks. And
What?
then George,
What the? I knew I shouldn't have watched this. Damn it. I don't even know how to talk about Minilogo trucks. After watching this and hearing him like say that it's all hollow under there and that it's super engineered, clearly I don't know. I need to work on my verbiage. Damn. And I'm not wearing enough watches, obviously.
curve the hanger.
What is the deal with that? That's totally throwing me off now. I wonder if those watches are all set to a different time. Or are they set to the exact same time? That would be some... if you had all three watches exactly set at the same
So when
time.
you get brand new trucks, it doesn't feel like you're just on a clothing rack bar. You know, you kind of have some lock-in ability. And
Okay.
they're actually also curved this way. So the
Clothing
axle
rack
isn't
bar?
curved, but the truck itself, the hanger, is curved this way for locking in, and then this way for locking in on like 5.0s and crooks and stuff. So I got little risers, and that's because the Minilogo trucks are super low.
Yeah.
So I put the
I
little
can dig that.
Minilogo risers in there, and then it kind of makes it like a regular truck height.
Huh. Man, that was awkward. This is a weird interview. But I guess he kind of explained some of it. You're riding on a coat hanger bar. What? Man. All right, now I'm totally thrown for a loop. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. Minilogo trucks, man. Yeah, it's a good. The experiment is off and running. It's good. 3 months or a couple of months in since September. I hope the video footage kind of helped you understand a little bit of how I'm experimenting with them, and I hope it kind of lets you know exactly where they're beneficial in the type of skating that I do. Yeah, I'm stoked on them. I'm happy I got them. I'm happy that I'm able to be fortunate enough to run through this type of situation with them. To be able to go out and skate and have the athletic equipment that kind of provides me with the ability to enjoy the session. I'm stoked, yeah. If you're a new skater who's just getting into them, you know, and you don't want to make a full commitment, you know, that $38 price tag is good, like I said. And the fact that there is some room to grow with them is beneficial too. And if you've been skating and you just want to try them out, I mean, I think they're definitely worth the shot. You know, if you're going to put something together and you want to throw a set of trucks on there that's super turny and, you know, you can actually carve on and there's some room to kind of experiment with them. Like I said, I think they would be totally different because they are very low if you didn't have a riser pad on there. So the riser that I have gives them a little bit more height, and I think also adds to the ability to take them off of plane and put them on axis and make them turn a little bit better too. So yeah, I mean, thumbs up to the Minilogos. I hope they continue to go. That would be the next part of the experiment. Obviously, I want to do some more stuff front side with them. I don't know how much of a difference that's really going to make. But I also want to see how long they last. So I'm going to keep kind of putting them through the day-to-day and kind of keep punishing them and see how it all turns out. But yeah, I hope this, like I said, I hope this video finds everyone well. I hope everybody's enjoying their December and continuing on up until the holidays here, and that you get time during those holidays to spend with your family and with your friends, or if you just want to be alone, that's also okay. You know, just stay around and get inside your feelings and figure out what you did all year. That's usually what I do. Around the 28th, I start, you know, I get emotional. And I recount the year. But it's been a good year. Been very fortunate, very lucky. Definitely been stoked this entire year. So, yeah, hopefully I'll have some more video content to create, and hopefully you'll tune in for that as well. So, right on. Thank you for watching. See you soon.